It's the third round of the MRF Challenge, and the cars are making their way out onto the circuit here at the Buddha International Circuit just outside of New Delhi for the qualifying session that will determine who is going to be on pole position for race one. 4 races coming up this weekend over the course of today and tomorrow, and pole position and this qualifying session will only decide the grid for the first race. From there onwards, it'll be reverse grids and race finishing orders. My name is Jack Nichols. You can see the cars weaving their way around now for what appears to be a full 30-minute qualifying session. As you can see, we've got an awful lot of fog around, and that fog has only just cleared. This session was due to get underway about an hour and 6 minutes ago, but here we are. The air temperature just 14 degrees, track temperature at 15 degrees. This 5.14 kilometre circuit used as the home for the Indian Grand Prix for a couple of years back in the early 2010s, and we are in Greater Noida, as I say, about an hour outside downtown Delhi. So here is the entry list. We've got Mick Schumacher out there, Joey Mawson, Harry Newey, Ralph Aaron. Those 4 really are the drivers to watch out for over the course of this qualifying session. A couple of Estonians in there as well, Ralph Aaron and Yuri Vips. Felipe Drugovich always very quick. The Brazilian, Dylan Young, is now in his 5th MRF campaign. Further back down, you've got Manuel Maldonado, the cousin of Pasta. But now they're starting their flying laps, and here is Mick Schumacher into the first corner, locks up the right front just a little bit, but I think getting the tyres up to temperature and the brakes up to temperature is going to be a little bit of a challenge in these conditions. Previously, they've raced in Bahrain and in Dubai, where it was considerably hotter than this. We are expecting temperatures to rise. The predicted temperature today was about 22 degrees, but it's not working out with the fog. Once the fog clears, though, we expect the temperatures to increase. Mick Schumacher now then, the son of 7-time Formula 1 world champion Michael Schumacher, getting on the brakes into the hairpin right-hander at the end of the long back straight, and then starting to drop down the hill. As you can see, Narain Karthikeyan there in front of the number 1 guy. He's out in a test car, so although he'll be very quick, he's not in contention for the championship or for pole position, as the back end steps out just a little bit on Schumacher's car. We were speaking to Jay Anand, whose JA Motorsport company run these cars, and was saying that they're about 3 seconds or so faster than they were last time around, and that's with improvements through the tyres, thanks to MRF with their ZLO tyres, and also through improvements with the car. They've got a new engine in the car, whereas it used to be Renault, now it's a sort of Ford Duratec engine, and as a result we're seeing the cars move around a lot more and be an awful lot more lively. Schumacher gets on the brakes into turn 12 and then starts to drop down the hill. As far as the championship is concerned, it is Joey Mawson, the 20-year-old Australian, who is leading the championship. And in second place behind him is Harry Newey. Mick Schumacher had 2 retirements, unfortunately for him, in the last round in Dubai in races 3 and 4. So as a result, he's not quite in championship contention, but he was the quickest man yesterday, and he's done a 1 minute 54.205 here today. So that's a very quick time from Mick Schumacher. Harry Newey is 0.7 of a second slower than Schumacher, so it's Schumacher quickest at the moment, then Harry Newey in second. Dylan Young there in car number 3 has gone up into 3rd place, although he has just been deposed by Yuri Vips, the Estonian, but it is Mick Schumacher who is the quickest at the moment, 0.7 quicker than Harry Newey, as we see Dylan Young, the 27-year-old from Australia, making his way down the back straight. The car behind him on circuit is Harry Newey, as they head down towards the hairpin right-hander, one of the best overtaking zones on the circuit. And Dylan Young turns into that right-hander and then starts to drop down the hill. So Schumacher quickest, then Newey, then Aaron, then Vips. Pedro Cardoso is 5th quickest, then Dylan Young, Joey Mawson, Rinus VK, Kimi Schramm and Xiao Wing Hung are the 10 drivers to have set a lap time so far. Yoshiaki Katayama, Manuel Maldonado are both in the pits, so they've done an outlap and then come straight back in to presumably change something with the car, and Pavan Ravichanka is out there as well. Those are our 14 drivers we've got competing in the championship, plus Narain Kardakayan, who is out there in the test car and is currently quickest of anyone, 4/10 quicker than Schumacher. But as I say, he won't start on pole position. If he does take pole position, it will be Mick Schumacher if the order were to finish like this. And we've got 24 minutes to go as Dylan Young makes his way now down towards the final turn. As I mentioned, in his 5th MRF Challenge campaign, a former BMW Pacific racer, and he's had a good season actually. Finished 5th in the last race in Dubai, did Dylan Young, and he's just gone, well, he briefly went 2nd quickest. Well, he briefly went quickest of anyone, but then Harry Newey has now gone quicker there. In car number 4, he's done a 1 minute 52.540, so he is now the quickest of anyone. Mick Schumacher made a mistake on that last lap, and as a result is dropping down the order a little bit. So it's Harry Newey there, number 4. The 18-year-old from London, who gets very, very out of shape on the exit of turn 3. But he is quickest. Yuri Vips 2nd, Dylan Young 3rd. 4th is Kimi Schramm. Let's have a look at this again. Onto the brakes, into the hairpin. And you'll see with this on relatively cold tyres and with all the power at his disposal, the back end steps out there for Harry Newey. Joey Mawson is back in the pits as well. He's been incredibly consistent so far this season. 8 races in the MRF Challenge, and Mawson has had 7 podiums, but he's in the pits at the moment and 6 seconds off the pace. I expect that gap to come down considerably, but potentially not entirely satisfied with how the car is performing. Up to turns 8 and 9 now comes Harry Newey. Long, never-ending right-hander, and then hurtles down towards turn 10 again. You see the back of the car just trying to step out. Through the quick flick, and then up into turn 12. Mick Schumacher comes across the line to do a 52.0 to go back to being quickest. Harry Newey, we saw that mistake on the exit of turn 3. That will have compromised his speed all the way down the back straight, and as a result he decides to abandon that lap and come into the pit lane. So Dylan Young continues out there, but it's Mick Schumacher there locking up into the 3rd corner, who is quickest so far on a 1 minute 52.0. Harry Newey 2nd, Dylan Young 3rd, although Yuri Vips has just gone 2nd quickest, only 0.07 of a second slower than Mick Schumacher. Yuri Vips in car 44, the 16-year-old Estonian. But we're watching Mick Schumacher, 17 years of age. 21 minutes on the clock. Katayama just getting out of the way of Schumacher. Good awareness from Yoshiaki Katayama to see Schumacher coming and move out of the way. Oh, and in the wall, that's Dylan Young. He's lost it at turn 5 and is now backwards in the wall, and he's gone in reasonably heavily, I think, into the Tech Pro barriers there. Mick Schumacher is still going. We'll have to wait and see whether this brings out a red flag or just a yellow while they recover that car. Schumacher is in the closing stages of the lap, and he decides to come into the pits as well. Now here's what happened. Oh, just the back end getting away from Dylan Young, and he's gone in sideways. Actually, he has gone in very hard, hasn't he? That is going to damage the car, and that actually could put him under threat for the first race, because and the red flag is out. Red flag is out. That is the pausing of this qualifying session. The clock has been stopped with 20 minutes to go. Not really what we needed with the delays from the fog already this morning. We're now going to have a delay with a red flag as they try and get Dylan Young, who just limps away. Unsurprisingly, took a bit of a hit on the right ankle there, but you can see he's actually done quite a lot of damage to that car, and that is going to be a real challenge for them to fix it before the race later on, because we've only got 2 more qualifying sessions for the VW Ventos and then the Formula 1600s before we get underway. So a real shame to see Dylan Young, the 27-year-old Australian, in his 5th MRF Challenge campaign, limping away from the car. Good to see him walking away, of course, but not nice to see him in the wall. It's Harry Newey then, 3rd quickest at the moment in car number 4. Number 11 in the middle there is Felipe Drogovic, and then 44 on the right hand side is the man who's 2nd quickest at the moment, Juri Vips. So a very good performance from him so far, who's had his rookie season in Formula 4 in Europe this year, finishing 5th in the Italian Championship, 6th in the German Championship with the Prema Power team. So you think he's going to be a definite title contender in those series next year if he continues. But we've got the red flag out here at the Buda International Circuit. That turn 6 has caught a lot of drivers out. Sorry, turn 5 I should say. And Dylan Young is the first man to really go into the wall there, as we see Juri Vips parked up for the moment, and it looks as though they're going to change the tyres potentially, stick on a new set, because the clock was stopped with 20 minutes to go, but you just wonder with the delays whether they will take some of that time off. As Dylan Young's car is still in the wall. And Joey Mawson there at the moment, all the way down in 9th position. He and Harry Newey have shared the pole positions this season in the 2 qualifying sessions. Harry Newey took pole in Bahrain, Joey Mawson took pole in Dubai. And then for race 2, for example, is the top 6 reversed. Race 3 is the finishing order from race 1, and then race 4 is the top 6 reversed from race 3 in terms of grid positions, I believe. As we wait for the session to restart. And all the drivers just sat in their car. Looks like most of them, certainly Mick Schumacher's got a new set of tyres on there, hasn't he? You can see the shine on the front right as it sits out in what is now looking like a moderately sunny day. Looks as though the sun is just trying to peek through the fog. And now they go, oh, well, there are some spare cars here in the MRF Challenge. But that is going to take a lot of rebuilding work, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if the gearbox is needing changing on that car as well. You can see it at the back there, sort of dangling down. And Dylan Young, unfortunately, has done a pretty comprehensive number on that car. Here it is again. Just loses the back end there. And he's pretty much a passenger from then on in, and then pretty heavily into the barriers sideways. The Tech Pro plastic barriers doing their job and taking the speed out of the car. But there is Harry Newey, who at the moment is 3rd quickest behind Mick Schumacher and Juri Vips, as he waits to head back out onto the circuit now. Is that that's a new set of tyres, isn't it? You can see the green markings on it. Stickers they used to be called. A new set of tyres, because you still have the stickers on them, but that's something that's kind of stopped recently, hasn't it? Which is a shame, because it was always cool to see a set of stickers. But there you can see the fog we've been dealing with all morning. Fortunately now you can pretty much see to that final corner, can't you? And there you can see on the right hand side there, the tyres, the green stripe, and on Mick Schumacher's car, absolutely fresh and ready to go as they reset the GoPro on the top there. 1 minute to pit lane open. And the pit lane open will in 1 minute. So 1 minute until the green flag. And the drivers fire up their cars. At the moment it's still showing that we have 20 minutes left on the clock. We'll see whether that shortens down at all when the drivers make their way out and we do go green again. So Dylan Young had put in a good lap time. He was looking very quick, 4th quickest at the moment. So that should put him in good stead for a reasonable grid position. It's not as though he hasn't set a lap time yet and therefore will definitely be at the back of the field. As we see the cars about to depart. And there we go. Out they go, and the first car out there is going to be Kimi Schramm, the German driver. The 19-year-old who was 5th in ADAC Formula 4 last year, taking 1 victory. And there's Katayama making his way out, but no rush for the front runners at the moment. Harry Newey there on the left, Felipe Drugovich on the right, just biding their time before they head out onto the circuit. There's Joey Mawson in 96. Behind him is the 2nd quickest man, Yuri Vips. Mawson's the man with the kind of pressure at the moment. We've got 19 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and Mawson and Ralph Aaron really are in 8th and 9th positions. Aaron 8th, Mawson 9th, and that would be a surprise if they were to qualify back there, because this is the championship leader, looking to follow the likes of Jordan King, Toby Sowry, Pietro Fittipaldi in the list of MRF champions. Shuey and Newey waiting to head out onto the circuit. And there goes Schumacher. And here goes Harry Newey. Schumacher was the quickest man yesterday, reasonably comfortably, by about 3.5 tenths of a second over Harry Newey, who was his closest rival in the free practice times. Number 2 there is Rinus van Kamphout, or Rinus VK, as he has written on the side of his car. But now these guys have got to get their brakes and tyres all up to temperature again. You can see some weaving behind from Kimi Schramm as Joey Mawson in 96 then. The various shades of blue comes across the line, comes past the commentary box window and starts a flying lap. There's 17.5 minutes left on the clock. Big lock-up. Misses the apex a little bit. Not too dramatic, but not ideal for Joey Mawson at the start of this lap. Using all the curb on the exit. Down this long back straight, over that bump, and then onto the brakes. Mawson won the German Formula 4 Championship in 2015, 2nd in the British Formula 3 Championship last year. One of the real top Australian talents, sliding his way through turn 5. He's coming up behind Harry Newey, but I think Newey's still warming his tyres, so we'll see if he decides. Oh, very, very wide there in the background, you saw from Kimi Schramm. Kept it all together though. As Mawson now comes down towards turn 10, is Harry Newey going to keep out of the way? I think he has pulled to the inside. And yes, he did. So Harry Newey getting out of the way there. And here comes Mawson up to turn 12. Quickest lap time so far set by Mick Schumacher, a 1:52.010. Mawson onto the brakes, into the final turn. He's currently down in 9th quickest. Let's see if he can climb himself up the order a little bit here. goes up to 5th quickest, so not bad. Harry Newey, meanwhile, deciding not to go for it on this lap either. Oh, big slide on the exit of 1. But Harry Newey isn't pushing on this lap either, so he's taking it reasonably easy. Kimi Schramm there, his lap time was not an improvement, so he remains in 6th position. Schumacher, Vips, Newey, the top 3. Then Dylan Young, Joey Mawson, Kimi Schramm, the top 6. Cardoso, VK, Aaron, Ravichanka, the top 10. And then Hung, Katayama, Maldonado, and Felipe Drugovich yet to set the lap time, but he is out there at the moment, so he should be setting one reasonably soon. He's in the final sector now, I think, so we'll keep an eye out on Felipe Drugovich's time. Kimi Schramm, who's been racing cars since 2013, the 19-year-old German. Here's Joey Mawson, though, across the line there. Went Felipe Drugovich to go 9th quickest. Oh, that's wide. Almost losing control of the car there. Kimi Schramm just about held it together. But he did what Harry Newey, in fact, who's the car behind him, did yesterday, just getting out wide onto the curb and the runoff area at turn 9. And Harry Newey now, well, that's good work from Kimi Schramm to move out of the way, and that'll give Harry Newey some clear air as he tries to get one last little bit of heat in the tyres before he comes through the final corner. And this will be the first lap fully pushing for the new tyres. Black and white driving standards flag there for Yuri Vips, so that'll be presumably for track limits. And Joey Mawson, that's more like it, goes 2nd quickest. So Schumacher quickest, Mawson 2nd, Yuri Vips 3rd. The top 3 covered by just 0.07 of a second. So Schumacher, Mawson, Vips, and then this man Harry Newey, and there facing the wrong way is Pedro Cardoso, the Brazilian, at turn 1. But here's Harry Newey onto the brakes into turn 4. Currently 4th quickest. He's only qualified on the front row in the first 2 rounds of the championship. First in Bahrain, 2nd in Dubai. Through turn 5, up to 6 and 7. Very quick sequence of corners. Still Schumacher, Mawson, Vips, and Drugovich actually has jumped up into 4th place. So Felipe Drugovich now quicker than this man Harry Newey, who has dropped down to 5th position. But of course, as you can see, he's on his flying lap and decided to take basically 2 warm-up laps. Here he comes into the final corner. Accelerates out. Where is this going to put Harry Newey? Can he challenge Mick Schumacher? Can he get up into the top 3? Yes, he can. Goodness me, he can. 0.7 of a second quicker than Schumacher. Harry Newey goes quickest of all at 1:51.304. 0.7 quicker than Schumacher in 2nd. Mawson in 3rd. Yuri Vips in 4th. What an impressive lap by Harry Newey. Here's Schumacher then. We're looking for his response. He's coming down the hill out of turn number 4. And that lap time from Harry Newey was even fractionally quicker than Narain Karthikeyan, who's out in the test car. Although Karthikeyan has just gone half a second quicker, but that's reasonably irrelevant because it's Harry Newey still on provisional pole position. Schumacher 2nd, Mawson 3rd, Yuri Vips 4th. Schumacher, Mawson and Vips have got a lot of work to do to try and close in on Harry Newey. But here is Schumacher now dropping down the hill towards the final corner. Into turn 13, the time to beat is a 1 minute 51.3. Schumacher cuts the timing beam. Can he close in the gap? He goes quicker than Newey by 12 hundredths of a second. A 51.292 compared to Harry Newey's 1 minute 51.304. Incredibly close between the pair of them. But it's Schumacher that has the edge for the time being. Here is Harry Newey out of the final corner. Can he retake provisional pole position with 10 minutes to go? He certainly can by 3/10. A 1 minute 51 exactly. To the nearest thousandths of a second, a 1 minute 51.000 for Harry Newey, 3/10 quicker than Mick Schumacher. Joey Mawson and Yuri Vips aren't really coming to join as the back end steps out big time for Harry Newey. Really swinging the back end of that car into that hairpin at turn 3. But Newey, Schumacher, Mawson your top 3, then Vips, Drogovic and Ralph Aaron the top 6. Dylan Young still there in 7th place despite crashing out of the session. Then Kimi Schramm, Marinas VK, Pedro Cardoso, Yoshiaki Katayama, Manuel Maldonado, Pavan Ravishankar and Chiao Wing Hung, the 14 drivers. What a great scrap for pole position between Harry Newey and Mick Schumacher. Here comes the German down towards the final corner. Will he be the first man into the 1 minute 50s? And if he does so, will take provisional pole position away from Harry Newey. Across the line comes Schumacher. Not good enough. 5 seconds off the pace, actually, so maybe that was just a cool-down lap for Schumacher. Keep an eye out on Harry Newey as well, because he'll be coming across the line before too long. See if he improves. Good lap time from Joey Mawson. He goes 3rd quickest now, Joey Mawson, on a 1 minute 51.4. Harry Newey, meanwhile, also backed off on that last lap. A 1 minute 58, so 8 seconds off the pace for him. But this man, Joey Mawson, has now jumped up in a 3rd position, the championship leader. 4.5 tenths off Harry Newey, about 2 tenths off Mick Schumacher. Less than 8 minutes to go. And the circuit, because of the fog earlier on and the sun beginning to break through, it's just going to be getting hotter and hotter and hotter out there, because the fog was pretty much entirely cleared when we started this session. It was clear enough to go qualifying. It wasn't, you know, you wouldn't call it a crisp, clear day. Crisp, clear day. Now it really is starting to lift. Here is Schumacher through turns 8 and 9. Two wins in the opening round of the championship in Bahrain. Here comes Felipe Drogovic. Will we see an improvement from the Brazilian? No, we won't. He too backed up on that lap and now starts a flyer. The 16-year-old, as here comes Schumacher across the line, and he goes back to provisional pole position. 1 minute 50.749, quarter of a second quicker than this man. But Harry Newey is coming to the final turn now. Into the left-hander, accelerates out, uses all the curve and a little bit more. What's he got as Harry Newey comes across the line? It's not good enough. Slower than his previous effort. So it's Mick Schumacher who provisionally has pole position. Joey Mawson also didn't improve on that last lap. Newey really pushing it. Let's see how neat he is. We see him coming out of that turn 3, not too bad at all. There's Joey Mawson up in front, championship leader, third quickest at the moment in qualifying with 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. He's up behind Rinus VK, but not close enough, I don't think, to be troubled by him. Schumacher, Newey, Mawson the top 3, Drugovic, Aaron and Vips the top 6, Kimi Schramm, Rinus VK, Dylan Young, Pedro Cardoso the top 10, then Katayama, Maldonado, Ravishankar and Hung. There you can see the top 6. Schumacher, Newey, Mawson, then Drugovic, Aaron, Vips, the two Estonians in 5th and 6th spot at the moment. Oh, a little bit of a step out as he comes into turn 12 there, Joey Mawson. Back end trying to break away. Mick Schumacher on that last lap backed off. Now what can Mawson do? It's looked neat and tidy. Is it going to be an improvement though for the Australian across the line? It is an improvement, but he remains in 3rd place, unable to close in on Harry Newey. 4/10 off Newey, 7/10 off Schumacher is Joey Mawson in that 3rd spot. Big lock-up coming into 3 there. There's Harry Newey behind him on the circuit. Here's Mick Schumacher, the man provisionally on pole position. Some parts of the circuit look pretty clear, and then others around turn 8 and 9 look a bit foggy, don't they? As we see Felipe Drugovic, the Brazilian, coming into turn 10. Currently 4th quickest. Only 3/10 away from Joey Mawson. He's coming up behind Chia Wing Hung, who hopefully won't get in his way, although Wung himself is on a hot lap, so has no necessity to get out of Drugovic's way. Let's see if the Brazilian can improve his lap time this time through. He can, but he remains in 4th place, and this next lap is going to be compromised unless he just sends it going into turn 1. Thinks about it, goes for it, and Chia Wing Hung just about sees him coming, but that has ruined both of their laps. Here's Harry Newey, 2nd quickest at the moment. Schumacher quickest, Newey 2nd quickest. Oh, he's going to catch Rinus VK here right at the final corner. VK, fortunately for Newey, goes into the pits. Oh, big slide. Is this going to be improvement from Harry Newey as he comes across the line? No, he's still slower than he managed previously. A 1 minute 51.1. Schumacher on that last lap too was 2/10 off his best lap time. So have we seen the best of these MRF tyres? Like all tyres, they are, they have their peak in qualifying format. You get a good 5 or 6 laps out of them, but it now just looks as though the pace is dropping away. Schumacher, Newey, Mawson the top 3, Drugovic, Aaron, Vips the top 6. There's Newey now. See, up here it looks sunny, doesn't it? Up at turn 4, and then as you drop down into this little dip, it suddenly gets a little bit foggier. Here is the 99 car of Ralph Aaron, running in 5th place at the moment. 2015 Italian Formula 4 champion, and was very impressive in the Formula 3 European Championship last season, finishing 7th in his rookie year. Again with the Prema Power team, and he would have been in championship contention, but he didn't race in Dubai last time out. Finished 2nd, 3rd, 1st and 5th in the 4 races in Bahrain. Rinus VK is in the pits, everyone else is still out there. except Pedro Cardoso down in 10th place improved on that last lap. So here's Harry Newey, and here's Joey Mawson. Didn't look as though Newey was pushing that time. Maybe a back-off lap to just have one more flyer, because there's 30 seconds left on the clock. That may be Harry Newey coming into the pits. I'll keep an eye out of the window. But here comes Joey Mawson. Yes, it is Harry Newey. Harry Newey has decided to pit, so he will not be on pole position. Schumacher has it at the moment. Schumacher still out there on the circuit. Here comes Joey Mawson now in 3rd place. He needs to find 0.4 of a second if he wants to displace Harry Newey from the front row. Checker flag is out. 30 minutes are up. A little bit of a twitch from Mawson as he comes into 8 and 9. Drugovic, in fact, has just jumped up into 3rd spot. So Mawson, this man here, as the championship leader, has just been demoted down to 4th. So Schumacher, Newey, Drugovic, the top 3. Mawson down in 4th position. So this is a vital lap now for Joey Mawson. Can he stay in the top 3? Out of the final corner he comes. Is it going to be enough to go quicker than Drugovic? Yes, it is, by 0.4 of a second, only half a tenth away from Harry Newey. But it's not quite enough for Joey Mawson to steal the front row of the grid. Ralph Aaron, Yuri Vips yet to come across the line, as Schumacher now is pushed back into the garage. It looks as though the German has taken provisional pole position. Here comes the 44 car of Yuri Vips, but he decides to pit, as does Ralph Aaron, I think, in front of him. So both the Estonians bailing out of their final lap. As a result, I don't think we've got anyone else out there who can really do anything. Here comes the 28 car of Pavan Ravishankar. He decides to pit. Katayama decides to pit as well. So that, I would say, is the conclusion of qualifying for the 3rd round of the MRF Challenge. And it is Mick Schumacher who has taken pole position here in Greater Noida. Well, by 1/4 of a second, but the top 3 covered by just 3/10. So Schumacher looked commanding yesterday, but it was a lot closer a battle today. But it is provisional pole position for Mick Schumacher. Harry Newey 2nd on the grid for the first race a little bit later on. Here's a look at the top 5 then. Schumacher a 1:50.749, but look how close Harry Newey and Joey Mawson were. Only 0.06 of a second separating the Brit and the Aussie. Then Felipe Drugovic was just ousted from 3rd place at the last moment, but he still gets a front 2-row start. Ralph Aaron is 5th, just ahead of his Estonian compatriot Yuri Vips. So, very impressive lap time from Mick Schumacher. And there he is now, walking up to get weighed. And we'll try and speak to him a little bit later, but it'll be a very, very condensed schedule now, because these guys will be racing in maybe an hour, maybe less than that. So it's going to be incredibly tough for these guys, especially if there are changes they want to make after qualifying. You can see Chiao Wing-hung still in the car. He's the only driver still in the car. He's just about to get out now in car number 8. But Schumacher, Newey, Mawson, the top 3. Mawson, the man leading the championship. Drugovic, Aaron, Vips, the top 6. Then Rinus VK will start in 7th place ahead of Kimi Schramm. Dylan Young will still start 9th despite crashing out of qualifying after just 4 laps. Yuri Vips actually didn't manage to improve since his 4th lap of the session. He did another 10 laps and never managed to improve his lap time. Pedro Cardoso will start in 10th place. Here's a look back at the highlights of that qualifying session then. It was Schumacher versus Newey for the majority of it, but in the early stages it was all about trying to clear the fog and get some temperature into the tyres and into the brakes. Mick Schumacher was on a charge from the very early stages, making his way past Katayama, and ultimately he would end up on pole position. Then Dylan Young, actually at full speed, that's a pretty quick impact, isn't it, into the barriers for Dylan Young. Real frustration for him. That brought out the red flag, but he will still start in 9th place on the grid. After the red flag, everybody put on a new set of tyres and made their way out onto the circuit again. Once again, Harry Newey it was who took provisional pole position, going quicker than Mick Schumacher in what was a very, very close battle between the pair of them. Joey Mawson looking strong, but not quite with the pace to match those in front, but at the last gasp he managed to take 3rd place away from Felipe Drogovic. But it's Mick Schumacher that will start on pole position for race 1 of round 3 of the MRF Challenge. Let's go to Louise.
Well, poleman was Mick Schumacher, and you managed to get that 150.7. You really pushed to get that.
No, yeah, I mean, the car was, again, really good. And also thank you to the team. They did a great job, and now looking forward to the races, yeah.
What do you expect for these races to come?
A lot of battles, I guess. And I'm hopefully off in front, so that's my goal. To, I think, save some tyres, and but still be comfortable in the lead, yeah.
As always, it's close between yourself and Harry Newey.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's a great battle. We just saw in that session that it was very close between us. So I think, yeah, lots to expect.
Thank you, Mick.
Thank you.
A lot to expect indeed when they get underway with their race a little bit later on. I would give you a time, but the timings have been a little bit sent wobbly thanks to the fog this morning, so we're running a little bit behind schedule here at the Buddha International Circuit. Next up is going to be the MRF 1600 qualifying session, where we will see who will get pole position there. Just a 15-minute session for them, so that's going to be a real challenge for them to get up to grips, get up to temperature, and put in a quick lap time. In some ways, the MRF 2000 guys were quite fortunate because they got a red flag, which was a nice sort of 5-10 minute pause to sit in the car, think about what they were doing, make any setup changes they wanted before heading back out onto the circuit again for a second session. Let's go down to Louise.
Well, Yuri Vips, not the best qualifying for you, but how can you change that for the race?
I think with the speed it's there, honestly, but it's just first stint was really good. But I don't know what, but the pressures went like extremely high for the second stint, so I couldn't improve after the red flag. But yeah, before the red flag, it was looking good. I was on a lap that was going to put me on P1, but yeah, then afterwards the second set just didn't come because the pressures went really high. But I think if we sort the pressures out, then we'll be good for the races.
There was quite a change in conditions from the start of that qualifying to now.
Yeah, it was really foggy in the beginning, and the visibility wasn't great. But yeah, the sun came out, so in the end of the session, which also could have changed the track a little bit, which might explain the pressures. But yeah, anyway, it's nice weather here in India. It's and yeah, we'll see for the race.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Yuri Vips, who had a reasonable qualifying session, but as he said, he started off the session very, very quick, but didn't manage to improve after the red flag, and he was the only driver, apart from Dylan Young, who put it in the wall, who didn't manage to improve after the red flag. Mallard watch here with the ducks in the lake in the centre of the circuit, but it is now starting to turn into a lovely sunny day. The green flag is out, and MRF 1600 qualifying is underway as they make their way out onto the circuit. Here they come. Chetan Karada, Anandith Reddy, Nayan Chatterjee, Alex Bora, Ishan Dodiwala, Anshul Shah all making their way out onto the track now then. yesterday. Anandith Reddy was a very, very quick driver, so was Ananth Shanmugam. Those two really were the two battling it out for the quickest times, and then Nayan Chatterjee actually in the second session performed very well too, as they make their way out onto the track. The one question will be regarding Jai Sampath Kumar, because he was due to compete this weekend, wasn't here yesterday, sort of just didn't really arrive, and we'll see whether he arrives today. But the actor does this as a sort of a hobby, and as a result we'll see whether he will be here today. We don't believe he is here, so I think the car's still in the garage, so he's not out on the circuit. So I think we're going to have these 11 cars. Up at the front of the order is Anandith Reddy, just trying to warm his tyres up. So there is the number 2 car, and red flag is out. So we've got the red flag being waved here. Most of the cars appear to still be out there. Arya Singh is yet to come through the second sector in the number 10 car. So, and the rest of them are all in a bit of a queue, so maybe Arya Singh has gone missing. Here's a look at Anandith Reddy, just coming through the right-hander there. That was when the red flag came out. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one, see if anyone has come a cropper. The clock's been stopped with 13 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It's basically one less flying lap for these MRF 1600 drivers in their first round of the National Championship. And they'll be making their way back to the pits. So they come back into the pits, and yeah, as I say, that will be frustrating because that's effectively one flying lap lost for these MRF 1600 guys. Although Anandith Reddy now comes back into the pits, and yeah, it must be Arya Singh, because he hasn't come through any of the other sectors. All the other cars, as they come into the pits, are showing that they've come into the pits and completed the 3 sectors on the circuit, whereas Arya Singh is still stuck somewhere in sector 1 presumably. But more frustration, another red flag. Anshul Shah there, car 14. There is Ananth Shanmugam. Quickest yesterday in the free practice session, the 19-year-old born in Singapore. As his mechanics push him back. So we've got a red flag here in the MRF 1600 qualifying, and they will all line up and wait in the pit lane for the green flag to come. And as I say, it looks as though it's the number 10 car of Arya Singh who has run into trouble somewhere, because he is still out or doesn't shown to be back in the pits. Of course, he may just have a faulty transponder or something, and that's why he hasn't shown as returning to the pits, but we'll have to wait and see. But again, just a little bit more frustration really for the organisers of this weekend. Not only have we had to deal with the fog delaying things for an hour or so, but then a red flag in the Formula 2000 qualifying, a red flag in the early stages of the Formula 1600 qualifying. And in 15 minutes time we were in theory due to have the first race, but it's all fallen back just a little bit. There is Nayan Chatterjee, 3rd place in the free practice session yesterday. A little spin as well in the very early stages of free practice 2. And there we go. And it is Arya Singh, and he is in the gravel, and that is at the exit of turn 3. So that's where we have run into trouble, and we're just waiting, presumably, for a recovery vehicle to come and pick up Arya Singh's car. There they've brought the cables to lift it up, but there we go, we got to the bottom of it. And that is the reason for the delay here in the MRF 1600 qualifying session. Little wave from Anand as Harry Newey's car gets pushed back down after being weighed. That's the car that will start second on the grid for the MRF 2000 race coming up a little bit later on. As this gives the 1600 guys, I suppose, a little bit of a chance to work on stuff, but they only really did a sort of slowish outlap before the red flag came out, so I don't really think there's going to be many of them want to change. I see not much work being done on the cars. There is Chetan Korada, the 32-year-old from Chennai, the home of MRF, of course, and that is where the next round of the MRF 1600 Championship will take place. Also, the final round of the MRF 2000s will take place as well in 3 weeks' time. Just trying to work it out. Something like that, isn't it? The 17th and 18th of February, that weekend. And the recovery vehicle is here. And so they can pick up Arya Singh's car. And then we can get the qualifying action back underway. But that's what we were talking about, wasn't it? With the cold tyres in the early stages, in just a 15-minute session, you're going to try and get as much heat into them as possible. But unfortunately, Arya Singh has ended up in the gravel trap on the exit of turn 3. Now that recovery truck will take the car away, and in just a couple of moments' time, I'd have thought, we'll be getting the green flag. We shouldn't be too long waiting now. Kartik Durrani Singh, the champion of the Formula 1600 Championship last year, but he's not here. In fact, none of the top 3, Kartik Durrani Singh, CS Tejasram or Raghu Rangasamy, are competing in the championship this season, so the opportunity is there for someone else to take the title. Here's Vibhav Parker, who had a struggle yesterday with sort of mechanical gremlins, didn't get much running in at all, which was a real shame for the 27-year-old from Goa. We'll be looking for a bit of a better run today. We're nearly there now, aren't we, with the recovery truck. So, well, you can hear the engines firing up there down in the pits. Clock was stopped with 13 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock, and Andith Reddy just about making his way out there, didn't he? Very, very close to the back of Anshul. Was it Anshul Shah, or was it? I think no, it was Ishan Doniwala, wasn't it? But now the cars are making their way to the end of the pit lane. It ticks over to noon here in India. And Arya Singh, unfortunately, will be starting at the back of the grid for the race later on. Red flag is about to turn to green. potentially in about 20 seconds, I would have thought. And Anadith Reddy is at the front of the field. As these now 10 cars queue up at the exit of the pit lane. Well, still the red flag. Everybody's ready. Potentially just some track marshals still out there. And I think some of the drivers revving to say, come on, we want to qualify. These guys are only going to get about 5 laps, I'd say, of 5 flying laps at the most. With 13 minutes and 10 seconds, by the time they so yes, by the time they've done a 3 minutes or so out lap, and then they'll have 10 minutes to go, about 2 minutes a lap, you're only looking at 5 or so flying laps. So the cars are still all queued up. Hopefully they won't be overheating. You can see Anadith Reddy looking around like, let's go. As they wait at the end of the pit. Now, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it. Away we go. So, away goes Anadith Reddy out onto the circuit, followed by Alex Borer in car number 7, Anshul Shah in car 14, Nishan Dodiwala. Next up in car number 8, number 5, there is Nayan Chatterjee. Number 44 is Anthony George. 12 is Ananth Shanmugam. Behind him, 45, Vibhav Parker. He lights up the rear tyres, followed by Angad Matharu. And the last man out, number 1, Chetan Korada. At some point, there he goes. Fires it up out of the pits. So now they're on their out lap. And Anadith Reddy is at the head of the field. Bit of jockeying for position. Some locking of tyres as they try and just get any temperature possible into the brakes. Dodiwala locking up, the reigning VW Vento Cup champion. So, oh, throwing it around there, Ananth Shanmugam. That'll get some lateral load into the tyres, won't it? Up through 8 and 9 they come. The problem for these guys is they're all in just a big old queue. They're going to want to find a little more clear air than this, aren't they? Anadith Reddy's okay because he's at the head of the queue and he's got all the clear air. Alex Borer there just getting out of it a little bit. So here we go down into the sea. What? I don't know. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not quite sure there what Nayan Chatterjee was trying to achieve, because he's now tucked right up behind Anshul Shah. Tried to lunge him at the final corner. They've got limited time on track, and now he's going to spend a whole lap up behind Anshul Shah. Anadith Reddy in car number 2 is away and in the lead, but Chatterjee spent the whole lap cruising around behind Anshul Shah, and now has decided he wants to get past. Now he has got past, but it's wrecked both of their laps. Anyway, Anadith Reddy is the man out in front after that 15-minute delay, unfortunately, for the red flag. Reddy has a little look in the mirror, sees he's got no one near him and can just focus on the job. Reddy was the 2015 VW Vento Cup champion. Oh, and a spin, that's Ishan Dodiwala. Facing the wrong way, well, not quite the wrong way, but that's down at turn 4. Anadith Reddy, though, is looking good out in front, certainly pulling away from Chatterjee behind. Here's a look, and Anadith, we just locked up. I mean, he did seem to be going side by side with another car, but an odd one there for Ishan Dodiwala. But here comes Anadith Reddy then. Let's see what he's got for his first timed lap. We've only got 8 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Through the final corner he comes, and the benchmark time now is set by Anadith Reddy. And it is a 2-minute 9.530, half a second, 6 tenths quicker than Nayan Chatterjee. Anshul Shah goes 3rd quickest, but we'll wait for everyone else to come over the line and see what they can do. Shanmugam there. Give you a full rundown once everyone's completed their first flying laps. But Shanmugam, I think, had to get past Alex Bora on that last lap. So as a result, he's kind of stuck behind. Again, we're going to have a bit of a battle going on down into turn 1. Chetan Karada trying to unlap himself from Vibhav Parker. Through he goes. Here's Ishan Dodiwala, who had that moment up at the hairpin and has now got going again, which is good to see. So everybody, apart from Ishan Dodiwala, who's made that mistake, has completed their first laps. The order is Anadith Reddy ahead, Nayan Chatterjee 2nd quickest, Anand Shanmugam 3rd, then Anshul Shah, Alex Bora the top 5, Angad Matharu 6th, Chetan Karada 7th, Vibhav Parker 8th, 9th for Anthony George, and 10th for Ishan Dodiwala, with 11th and out of the qualifying session, Arya Singh. As we watch Nayan Chatterjee, 3rd quickest yesterday, 2nd quickest so far in this session. Behind this man, Anadith Reddy, who's going to complete his 2nd flying lap out of the final corner. Will he improve? Certainly will, by 2 seconds. 2 minutes 7.597. Nayan Chatterjee behind comes across the line, is a second slower. But there, quickest goes Anand Shanmugam. So there in car number 12, just coming down towards us, that is the man who has taken provisional pole position, quickest yesterday, and now quickest here in qualifying. This next lap maybe a little compromised up behind Anshul Shah, but it is Shanmugam. Oh, and Shah runs wide, and that's very good news for Shanmugam, because that gives him some clear air. But he is now the man who's gone 3 tenths quicker than Anadith Reddy, and has moved up to provisional pole position. Those two were in a sort of class of their own yesterday. Looks as though it's a similar story today. As Narain Karthikeyan has a little debrief with Jay Anand, with Mr. Aaron Mammon there on the right-hand side. So Anand Shanmugam is the man on provisional pole position as it stands in the MRF 1600 Championship. 5 minutes to go in the session. Narain Chatterjee is third quickest, and he just went a bit wide, so may not have that much time. Well, you can see how far he's dropped behind Anandith Reddy, can't you? So may not be a great lap this one for Chatterjee. Anshul Shah is fourth quickest, Alex Bora fifth, Angad Mathuru sixth, then Chetan Karada, Ishan Dodiwala, Vibhav Parker and Anthony George the top 10. Arya Singh out of the session already, the 15-year-old from Calcutta. And here is Chatterjee, and here is Reddy. Will he retake provisional pole? Yes, he will, but only by less than a tenth of a second. Chatterjee comes across the line behind, still improves, but a second off Anandith Reddy. And Shanmugam re-improves himself. The top two separated by just 0.03 of a second. That man Shanmugam has done a 2 minute 7.150 compared to Anandith Reddy's 2 minutes 7.185, incredibly closely matched. Then it's a second back to Narain Chatterjee in third, with Anshul Shah in fourth, Alex Bora fifth. 3.5 minutes on the clock. Only 2 more laps, I'd say. Ishan Dodiwala's got up to 8th place after making that mistake on his first lap. And here is Shanmugam again. Ready, comes down towards the final left-hander at turn 13. Are we going to see an improvement this time around onto the brakes into the final turn? You know what, he may get 2 more laps out of this one. He will just about, and it's a 2 minute 6.7, so he goes 0.4 quicker than Shanmugam. But what is the number 12 car going to do? It'll come over the line, and he goes quickest now. 0.6 quicker, so again it's Shanmugam who just is holding on ahead of Anandith Reddy. There he is. But the crucial part here is that this is Shanmugam's last lap, whereas Anandith Reddy could just about get 1 more lap in as Mr. Aaron Mammon watches the action. But who is that slowing down? Is that Narain Chatterjee pulling off? I think that's Narain Chatterjee pulling off just on the exit of turn 3. He's currently third, Anshul Shah fourth, Alex Bora fifth, Angad Mathuru in 6th place. As Narain Chatterjee now climbs out of his car. Real up and down weekend for him so far, but if he manages to qualify third, I think that'll be a predominant up. Here's Ishan Dodiwala, up ahead of Anandith Reddy, who's still pushing hard by the looks of things. Let's hope Dodiwala sees him coming. Stays reasonably well out of the way. Anandith Reddy currently 6 tenths behind Shanmugam. Little twitch at the back. Aaron Mammon, the MD of MRF. But here comes Anadith Reddy then. So he is going to get one more lap just out of this. So that could be key in the battle of a pole position. Through the final corner he comes, 10 seconds left on the clock. As he crosses the line, it's going to be about 4 seconds. It's 4 seconds. Oh, but that lap isn't good enough. So it's all or nothing now on this last lap for Anadith Reddy. And to help to compound matters, Shanmugam has just improved. 2 minute 5.898 for Anand Shanmugam. So it's all or nothing now for Anadith Reddy. He's got to find some 0.8 of a second. He's backed off. Yellow flagged, potentially. So that's it. Anadith Reddy doesn't improve. The checkered flag is out. And it looks as though it's going to be Anand Shanmugam who will take pole position for the first Formula 1600 race later on this afternoon. There he is, number 12, the red and white car coming towards us. There's Karthikeyan and Jay Anand and Aaron Mammon there. Watch the screens and the timings, but Anadith Reddy not able to do enough, and then compromised by and he's getting out. He's had enough. I think he's sorting out his wing mirrors, isn't he? But he backed off on the exit of turn 3. I think because of the yellow flags for Nayan Chatterjee's car. He realised as soon as he got to turn 3, with those yellow flags out, he was scuppered. So Chatterjee third on the grid, fourth for Anshul Shah there, number 14 in the black and orange car. Fifth is that man, number 7, Alex Bora. Sixth, Angad Matharu. Seventh for Chetan Kurada. 8th for Ishan Dodiwala. 9th for Vibhav Parker. 10th for Anthony George. And 11th for Ayaz Singh, which is a shame for Singh because he showed some good pace in free practice yesterday. Could well have been a top 5 contender. But he stuck it in the gravel trap in the very early stages. That man there though, Anand Shanmugam, well, this will be our front row for the race later on, but in the other order. The red and white car of Shanmugam will start on pole position. So they now pull back into the pits. They were so close, weren't they, throughout the whole session, and then suddenly, right at the end, Shanmugam found 0.8 of a second. So Shanmugam, Reddy, Chatterjee, Shah, 4 of the top 5. Matharu, Kurada, Parker, George, Dodiwala and Ayaz Singh, the top 11. But a 2 minute 5.898 for Anand Shanmugam secures him pole position for the MRF 1600 race 1. The first race of the season, the first pole position of the season. Anadith Reddy finishing in 2nd place, Nayan Chatterjee 3rd on the grid. And then Anshul Shah and Alex Bora completing the top 5 after qualifying here in Greater Noida. And we can now go to Louise, who is down in the pit lane.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, I'm with Aaron Mammon. It's been great so far here in Delhi for MRF to come back and visit.
Yeah, it's great. This is our 3rd round coming to 3rd round of the MRF Challenge race. We were in Bahrain, then in Dubai, and now we are in Delhi. So looking forward to this weekend of racing, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
The conditions this morning have proved difficult already for the drivers, haven't they?
Oh yes, I think so. The fog was a bit too much of fog this morning. So the whole thing was delayed by about an hour. So hopefully we'll make up time during the day and look forward to the rest of the day.
I know you're not really allowed to say, but do you have a favourite driver or somebody you tip more so than the others?
I wish I had a favorite driver, but I think it could be, it's between Schumacher and Newey. So let any one of them win, so hope for the best.
The new faster cars have been sliding around all over the place, haven't they, entertaining us?
Not really. I think so. The new cars is a much faster car, and we developed new tires for the cars, and the cars are doing much faster than the last time we were here. It's about 3 to 4 seconds faster, and there's a lot of work being done, and hopefully the course of this year we could develop further new tires, and probably the cars will go much faster from this season onwards.
Thanks very much. We'll speak to you later.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Aaron Mammon then, discussing the new cars, which are moving around an awful lot with the extra power that they've added to the cars, and it's really spectacular to watch. So here we go, and this is the final qualifying session, the one we've all been waiting for. It's the VW Vento Cup qualifying session, and it will get underway in just a couple of moments' time, and this battle for pole position is going to be absolutely fascinating. There's the green flag. Away they go for their 15 minutes. First out of the pit lane is Jeep Jabak. Dale following him out as the sun begins to poke through. Here is a look at the entry list. Darren Showry Valaben out there in car number 2. Drivers to watch out for: Sandeep Kumar, car 5, very quick. Karminder Singh, car 9, very quick. Kartik Tarani, incredibly quick in car number 12. They are some of the favourites, I would say, for pole position. And watch out for Anadith Reddy and Ishan Dodiwala in cars 15 and 14. How quickly can they get from their Formula 1600 cars into their Volkswagens? So a bit of tyre warming down the back straight. Again, it's going to be a similar story for these chaps, really, in that they're not going to have an awful lot of time to get up to speed in just a 15-minute session. There'll be, you know, something like 30, well, there'll be probably 12 minutes left by the time they actually start their first flying lap. Dhruv Dayal there in number 1. He's now at the head of the field. Number 2 in there is Aaron Showry. And then we've got Sean Parmeshwar. Number 12 there, Kartik Tarani. He's going to be a man to really keep an eye out for. The weather's certainly picking up, isn't it? As we have now the Golf liveried cars coming towards us. Sandeep Kumar is one of them, and Gauda Murugan the other one. Sean Parmeshwar at the head of the queue at the moment. Reasonably slow outlap by these Vento guys, isn't it? Of course, they're not going to be as quick as the single-seaters that we've already had out. As Eclavia just comes through, but you'd expect to see them pushing a little more just to try and get temperature into the tyres and the brakes. Javak did push hard because he was the first man out of the pits. He's just crossed the line. Everybody else is still coming around the final few corners. There is Karminder Singh down into the first corner. And now up into the hairpin of turn 3. Karminder Singh is on his outlap at the moment. He's only just left the pits, in fact, so he's still going for it, isn't he, with lights ablaze. But this lap time won't count for anything for Karminder Singh. As he comes through the right-hander and then starts to drop down the hill towards turn 5. Behind him on the circuit is Jeet Jabak in car number 10. He's going to be the first man to set a qualifying time. Still, Ishan Dodewala has just left the pits, so very prompt stuff from Ishan Dodewala to get over to his VW. In fact, he's just started his flying lap. As Jeet Jabak comes through turns 8 and 9. Down into turn 10, gets on the brakes. Look at that left rear wheel up in the air as all the weight transfers to the front right of the car. Oh, Gautam Murugan with a little spin coming out of turn 5. Seen that corner catch out a lot of drivers over the years, as here now into the final corner comes Jeet Jabak. He's going to give us our first benchmark time, and that is going to be a 2:23. Sorry, Karminder Singh does a 2:23.585, and there was the back end getting away from Gautam Murugan. Karminder Singh, the quickest man so far, 2:23.585. Even though that was him, well, seemingly on his outlap according to the timing screens. Don't quite follow that one, but we'll keep an eye on it. There's Sean Parmeshwar, who has gone 3rd quickest. Number 2 there is Arun Shari Balaban, who is 5th quickest. There is Karminder Singh. And it is ready, goes 2nd quickest, 9/10 of a second down. So Anadith Reddy is in 2nd place as Karminder Singh takes an awful lot of grass there through the left-hander. And Ishan Dodewala jumps up to 2nd place, just 0.06 of a second down on Karminder Singh. With 8 minutes to go, so we're already pretty much at the halfway point of this qualifying session, and they've only done one flying lap, because it takes them about 2.5 minutes to do a flying lap in these VW Ventos. Singh now comes into the final corner. Are we going to see an improvement from Karminder? Out across the line, and we certainly do by a couple of tenths of a second. A 2:23.394 now. Jeet Jabak across the line doesn't improve, remains 4th quickest. Going to challenge Anadith Reddy is going to be the next man to come across the line of note in car number 14. See whether he can close in on Karminder Singh. There is number 1, Dhruv Dayal. Number 4 there is Sean Parmeshwar down in 9th place. Anadith Reddy has just come across the line to go quickest of anyone. 2 minute 23.229 for Anadith Reddy. There he is, just coming into that first corner. And he has now gone quickest of all. So Anadith Reddy on provisional pole position. Missed out on pole position in the Formula 1600s. Maybe we'll have more fortune in the VW Vento Cup. He's up behind Eklavia at the moment. Close enough to have a move into the hairpin, goes for it. Oh, back and going all over the place, just about gets it stopped in there, does Anadith Reddy, and makes the move stick. So the order is Anadith Reddy in first, Karminder Singh second, Ishan Dodewala is third, but has decided to come into the pits. So there must be a problem with the car, because he's not going to, well, unless he goes out very, very promptly, he's not going to be able to get out again to do another flying lap. Sandeep Kumar is fourth, Jeet Jabak is fifth, Ameya Wallavalka is in sixth place, Gautam Murugam seventh, Anmol Singh is eighth, ninth is Dhruv Dayal, 10th is Arun Shari Valavan, Sean Parmeshwar is 11th, Eklavia is 12th, Kartik Tarani down in 13th place at the moment. It's an odd one. 10 seconds off the pace. We'll see if he improves this time. He's in the final part of the circuit. So he'll be coming across the line before too long, but so is Anadith Reddy, and he too will be coming across the line before too long. Into the final left-hander he comes at turn 13 with 4 minutes left on the clock. Will this be an improvement for Anadith Reddy? No, it's not. 3/10 slower than he managed previously, but bam, there goes Kartik Tarani, 12, car number 12, sorry, into provisional pole position. So he's just in that queue behind Anadith Reddy somewhere, but it's a 2 minute 23.175, half a tenth of a second quicker than Anadith Reddy. Incredibly tight up at the top, but it is Kartik Tarani who's on provisional pole. So he is there, just diving up the inside in car number 12. That's the man now on provisional pole position. Kartik Tarani with Anadith Reddy second, Karminder Singh third. But how compromised will this lap be for Kartik Tarani, because he's had to make his way past Eklavia. As he now drops down the hill. Ishan Dodewala still in the pits. That's the session over for Ishan Dodewala. Unless he leaves the pits in like 15 seconds, he is not going to be improving from his fourth position. And Karminder Singh has just retaken a provisional pole in the number 9 car, heading down towards the first corner. He's just taken provisional pole position, 4/10 of a second quicker than Kartik Tarani. So we're seeing a great battle for pole here. There he is, Karminder Singh, the man now on provisional pole position at 2 minute 22.742. But here's Kartik Tarani. Both he and this man, Anadith Reddy, are coming into the final sequence of corners. And they will get one more lap out of this one. Through the left-hander. Here comes Anadith Reddy. He's going to be the first man to cut the timing beam. Is it going to be good enough to take provisional pole position? No, it's not. No improvement. Kartik Tarani doesn't improve either. So it is Singh on provisional pole. Sandeep Kumar there in car number 5 has just jumped up to 5th place. But here is the man, Karminder Singh, who is on provisional pole position at the moment. Four tenths quicker than Tarani, and they've all got one more lap to do. And Singh is pretty much halfway round it. Down into turn 10. Lights ablaze for Karminder Singh, who's been quick since the very start of the session. And now comes down towards the final corner. This is Karminder Singh's last chance to put in an improved lap time. No, it's not. He might get one more, actually. He'll get one more lap if he wants it, but he's coming into the pits. So that's it. Karminder Singh feels he has done enough or can't do any more. So now we wait for Anandith Reddy and Kartik Tarani. Here is Sandeep Kumar in 5th place at the moment, slower than Ishan Dodiwala, but only by 0.03 of a second. The checker flag is out. There's Anmol Singh, who is in 9th place at the moment. Swinging it into the right-hander of turn 12, and then down the hill. It sounds as though a lot of cars are coming into the pits. As here comes the 11 car of Anmol Singh through the final corner. Any improvement for him? Currently in 9th place. No improvement. What about Anandith Reddy and Kartik Tarani? They're just coming across the line there. No improvement for Anandith Reddy. And Kartik Tarani goes 2nd quickest, and Sandeep Kumar goes 3rd quickest. So Anandith Reddy in 14 there is suddenly shuffled all the way down to 4th place. Karminder Singh it is, who takes provisional pole position, I should say, for the VW Vento Cup race later on today. Karminder Singh on pole, Kartik Tarani 2nd, Sandeep Kumar 3rd, Anandith Reddy 4th. The top 4 cars separated by just half a second. Karminder Singh has come into the pits already, hasn't he? And so it is he that will start on pole position. So very good news for him. But frustration, I think, for Anandith Reddy more than anyone else, beaten to 2 pole positions in about 20 minutes. Now, here's a look at the highlights. As everyone jockeyed for space in the opening part of the session. There was a little bit of a spin for Gautam Murugan. Just locked the back end coming through 5, which seems to be one of the trickiest corners on the circuit. Anandith Reddy was quick throughout. He was at the top of the times in the early stages. But Anmol Singh ended up qualifying in 9th position. He was the first man to take the checker flag, which concluded the session. And Karminder Singh it was who had taken pole position with a 2-minute 22.742. But he decided to return to the pits early, and as a result, didn't improve his lap time, but wasn't in the cars that came over the line at the end. Kartik Tarani in car number 12 managed to steal 2nd place.
Well, it was Karminder Singh who got the pole position in that. You put in a good performance. It was tough out there.
Yeah, it was damn tough out there because you see the weather conditions in the morning was really bad. The track was really damp, and no clue about what's going to happen next. But I took it easy. First 2 laps I was just sighting, and then I think 3rd lap I just started pushing and started giving hot laps. And it worked out, but I did a mistake on my flying lap itself, so I think that could have been a better lap.
You must have been confident because you're the first to come back.
Right, that's right. I mean, I've been driving this car the past 2 years, so I'm kind of used to the cars. It's just that the track temps are just varying from really hot to really cold. So that's where we all drivers need to adjust. So yeah, we're just trying our best to do that.
Well done. We'll see you out in the race.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
So that's the conclusion of the VW Vento Cup qualifying. And Karminder Singh it is who will start on pole position. A 2-minute 22.742 for him. Kartik Tarani qualifying in second place, just a couple of tenths behind. But look at that, the top 4 covered by just half a second, and the top 5 covered by less than a second. Kartik Tarani second, Sandeep Kumar third, Anadith Reddy fourth, Ishan Dodiwala in fifth. So that's the end of the qualifying sessions. Now it's just racing to come. MRF 2000 coming up next.